tips for people bouncing back from?
Well, see, we didn't have the information back then that they do now either.
Oh,
So there's a lot of stuff that I would have done differently. I mean, this guy right here doesn't think like normal people, which makes his rehab even more impressive.
yes.
Because he doesn't think, like they say, in the box. He thinks outside of the box,
Yes.
which it's almost like you're doing rehab, but you don't know you're doing rehab. You know, so it's not hard. Your body accepts it's either easier. If your body doesn't accept it, it rejects it. It's just like technique. If it doesn't feel comfortable and your body has to fight it, then that's not the technique for you because you're going to get hurt because the body doesn't want to do it that way. Back in the old days, I would make sure that I did the old modalities, so to speak, electrostim, ultrasound, massage, very light stretching, but I always tried to get back to the exact exercise I got hurt on for real lightweight in real high reps to help blow out all the scar tissue, to get good blood in that area and carry all the bad stuff out. That helped me recover more than anything in those days.
So you always were working out, like?
Yes.
Yes.
I never stopped. Movement is king, as he'll tell you. Different body movements.
The exercises with the stick I gave you last year.
Yes.
As a rehab.
Different movements that you never thought of before that should be simple, all of a sudden start correcting things that you never thought of.
Oh,
That's what
Interesting.
all the new technology isn't based on machines. It's body movement.
I remember you have you get sore in your muscles from training with a stick, from an empty stick.
Yes. Just a little
That's
stick.
awesome.
The man who deadlifts for 400 kilo,
Yeah.
Yep.
he gets sore of a stick.
409 kilos. Don't take anything away.
Sorry.
very important. Talking about weaknesses, if you have any weaknesses, like we all have, how do you find them?
You don't find them; they find you. So, like during a
Good
lift,
answer.
where your technique fails or you have a sticking point, usually a little bit before that is where your sticking point is.
Right.
Like momentum usually takes you up to that. And I would say based on that, watch it on video, especially nowadays everybody takes video, or else it
Yep.
didn't really happen, right?
Yes.
And then you can judge it by that on what exercises I should do to help that, or is it a technique problem that's causing it?
All right. Yesterday we were, some of us did like a deadlift with pause or stop, like at
Before the
knees.
knee.
Yes. Is that one thing you can do?
Yeah, it's a great thing. Actually, the first person I ever saw do that was Wade Hooper, and he got it from Boris Shako.
Ah,
But
at that.
it's a good thing to learn where your positioning is on the way up. So if you pull it up, stop right before your knees, hold that position, then you'll be able to see, especially on video, what your knee, your hip position, your foot position, how your back is angled, and then from that point it's a push and pull in, so you can use your hips. But you could start doing that over and over and teach your body the correct pattern to do it in.
Awesome. Do you have any weaknesses yourself nowadays? And if yes, how do you train them?
A lot of my weaknesses were caused because I had 2 hip surgeries,
Yes.
because of some muscle tears I got when I was younger. So there's a few little imbalances that I'm trying to correct. And nowadays, it's not like I'm going to compete anymore, but I want to be a little bit strong, look stronger. So that probably means I have to do traps and curls, and just be
Only.
and just be healthy. Because I know if I feel healthy, I can pretty much lift any weight I want. But I just don't want to compete anymore. I've been through all that, and I don't want to put myself through that anymore.
Right.
But I'll always stay a little bit bigger and stronger.
Yes, of course. That's
I have
important.
to. I mean, we all have our own egos too. There's no way I could live up to my old numbers in my own mind. So it's a good excuse to say, I shouldn't do this.
So if you play around with weights today, like bench press and deads and squats, how much do you lift?
Well, like 14 or so months ago, I had my second hip replaced.
And it was in Norway?
No, the first one was 6.5 years ago.
All right.
Well, it'll be 7 years. November 22nd is his birthday. He'll be 7 years old. So I figured if you add in my new hips and formulate it in with my age at 54, I'm probably under 50. That's what I'm going for. In the new one, you could feel a difference the way the technology has happened.
Yes.
So I will still do 235 for a high bar close stance squat for 8 reps without a problem.
Wow.
And I will still deadlift the same thing for 8 reps. I'm gonna start pushing it up a little bit.
Yes.
I just want to do like 320 and 320 and 200 on the bench again, and then I'll be okay. Then I'll hold that there for the rest of my life.
But we
Of
saw
course.
a weakness in your shoulder blades earlier today.
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
have
because
to work
I've
on
been
the
having
podcast.
some really bad shoulder pain, and while there's many reasons for it, he found another reason for it,
Alright.
which was all the muscles in my upper back around my shoulder blades are so tight that everything doesn't work together like it's supposed to. So he'll be working on me later.
We take it after the podcast. We're gonna fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you fix that?
That's,
Probably pain and suffering on my part.
Yeah. You
A
can
lot of
record the screaming afterwards.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about nutrition.
Sure.
How did you eat when you competed?
I never had a big appetite, so I'd have to rely on more meals. And what I did to keep my weight under control is I always ate all the protein off my plate and then a little bit of the carbs, and then I was okay. And if my weight was okay, I'd have sweets or a hot fudge sundae and enjoy myself. In my mind, if your mind controls what happens in your body, like secretions, excretions, if I keep my mind happy by having a hot fudge sundae, it's going to be much better for me.
Of course, and for the mood too.
Yes,
It's actually health in different stages.
yes,
You have
it's-
social health and you have physical health. And
yes.
Yeah.
Physical and mental health,
Yeah.
health go together.
Yes, of course. Any difference between off season and on season, or did you
Not really.
just eat more?
Not really.
Not really.
It was always the same.
Did you count macros and calories, or
No one even knew about counting macros or anything like that day. I looked at the mirror and watched the scale. That was the best. It kept me more honest.
No Instagram?
There was no Instagram back then.
it's the boring to count macros.
There wasn't even Facebook back then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And no supplements even.
But you know what? The supplements was vitamin, minerals, and a little bit of protein. Supplements are just that they supplement. If you're not getting enough in your diet, that's stuff you need. Now
Yes.
there's things that we need because I'm a pale from Chicago. Vitamin D3 is essential. Magnesium to relax your muscles and helps you sleep better. Definitely enough minerals, and not a lot of other things.
That's very interesting. Yesterday, you told everyone that you think vitamins and minerals are more important. Why?
The minerals are more important, I think.
Yes, all right. Yes.
It's just what the recent studies say.
Yes.
And you know, I don't know everything, but I've got a good phone book where I can contact, you know, Stefan.
Yes.
I can contact Charles Poliquin or Stan Efferdine or a guy named Eric Serrano, who's also a brilliant doctor. So I have a really good phone book of people I can contact.
Nice. Maybe you can give me some of those
Nope.
numbers.
Nope.
Okay. Do you eat the same way today that you did?
No,
when you-
I have to watch a little bit more with the types of carbs I have because I'm older.
Chicken or red meat?
Red meat.
Red meat. Why?
It's more nutrient dense. It's more bang for the buck, as Stan Efferdine says.
Yep.
And if I were to eat chicken, I would actually prefer like a more fatty chicken, like a chicken thigh or something, because then you could cut down on your carbs and get more good fats and as a source of energy.
All right.
Have you ever seen a big chicken?
Yeah, which is bigger, a chicken or a big giant steer? Exactly.
Yeah. Should new powerlifters how should new powerlifters use periodization?
Well,
they?
everyone does some form of periodization.
Yes.
It's just what kind you prefer that fits your lifestyle or your brain, what turns you on, basically. And mine was always very, very simple.
Yes.
But Albert Einstein used to say there's genius in simplicity. Now, how you apply that is the genius part. So, like, let's say if you had a 10-week cycle, I would do a lot of what a lot of people do. I would start at week 10 and work my way back. But I would work out every single set, rep, and weight for every single exercise I did, whether it was the main lift or a supplemental exercise. And I found a way to cycle all those too with the exact sets, reps, and weights too. So I knew every step of the way when I started that routine from week 1 that everything that was written on paper was doable because I was completely honest with myself. And if you can make progress, just a little bit of progress, 4 or 5 times a year for just 5 years, not get hurt, make your whole body strong on all these other extra exercises, how are you at the end of 5 years? Way, way better. And
Yes,
you're like
way stronger.
And you like got all this armor all over you from all these supplemental exercises you hit in the right way that would transfer over.
Did you train like that in the beginning also? Like,
At the beginning, I did a little bit more bodybuilding stuff.
yes,
Because I was so little that I wanted to look pretty and bigger.
much curls?
There was a lot of curls on.
Of course.
Not in the squat rack, but there was a lot of curls.
But some.
Not in the
All right.
monolift either.
Yeah.
So, if I want to get really, really strong as a newbie lifter, where should I start?
At the beginning.
At the beginning,
Yes.
of course.
Definitely. Too many people look at the too harder routines and they try to go too heavy too often. Stick to a routine that takes you to a certain place over time. It's the time that builds the strength, not how fast you can get there. And so over time, you lay down a better, real base that's going to last and stick with you forever. So it's better to just take your time, make sure your technique is perfect, and don't max out all the time. You only have so many maxes in your body. Why waste them in the gym? Save them for a platform or something.
Are there any programs you can recommend to start with?
I like just my own simple linear periodization,
Yes.
but there's quite a few guys out there that do some really, really good work. Juggernaut Systems does a really good job. Has a lot of clients. Westside has their own system,
Yes.
which I think Louis Simmons, even though he was from mainly a lot of their stuff works for Multiply Better. He has a vast assortment of some really cool exercises that you won't get bored on. That's important, to not get bored or get an overuse exercise. And he kind of taught people the value of programming. And then everyone jumped in after that and kind of started value programming a lot more and watch what they do. But there's a lot of really, good programs out there. And there's some good lifters that offer some good services. You just got to make sure it's more individualized. Like, people ask me if I do that, and I say no, because for me, I have to individualize it so much for each person that I'd have to charge too much, and I would spend so much time doing it. So I don't like a cookie cutter routine that say, okay, do this and do these with these percentages, and that's the same one for guy number 1 and the same guy for 100. No, you're different. Your leverages are different. That's like you who are 6'1", and me who's 5'5", and me giving you the same exact routine with all the same exact exercises than me, and it's not going to work out that way.
You talked about that yesterday also with the squat. Like, there is some basics that everyone should know, but
Yes.
It's not certain that everyone should squat the same.
No, definitely not.
Yes.
Definitely not. First of all, you can't go by even two people that are the same height. You can't say, well, their femurs are this long and this looks like you should both squat this way. Yeah, but there was a guy from Elite Ortho in New Mexico, a guy named Dr. Bo Hightower. He's a doctor to help keep healthy all the fighters at Jackson Wink, where like John Jones and Holly Holmes and Overeem and everyone, all these guys, all these fantastic fighters train, and he keeps them all healthy. And obviously he doesn't think like everyone else. He thinks outside the box, so to speak. And he showed a bunch of x-rays of almost the same people with the same build and showed just how their hips are formed. And everyone's different on the inside. That's why techniques can't be, you have to go by how it looks first